Hi dears, welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Anna. It's me, Anna, with you here, and today is Friday, which means that it's time for the latest news update here in Spain and our lovely Benidorm region. Let's start with the situation first, as usual. In the last 24 hours, we've been notified 2,400 new cases, which is a great number if we compare it to something that we've had even the last 2 weeks. The situation is improving quite a lot. We don't have as many patients inside the hospitals and ICU units anymore, and also the primary medicine, like family doctors. They also don't have as much patients right now, so the waiting list is not as long as it was before. The index of people getting sick for 14 days right now is 59 per every 100,000, which means that we're only 9 points, we're this close of getting to the low risk in the entire Spain. There are already quite a few regions that are in low risk though, which is our Valencian region. We've officially are under 50 cases, which means that we are in low risk. There are not as many cases here and everything is just getting back to normal finally. The other regions are La Rioja, Navarra, which is north, Galicia, which is also towards the north, Castilla y León, which is more towards the center near Madrid, and Andalusia. The only region which is in the new normality right now is Asturias. In terms of the overall picture that we have right now in the country, everything is getting better, the situation is improving, and we think that it might be the first year after all this happened, after all the restrictions that we used to have. It might actually be the first year when we can say that we are almost in the new normal lives. We're almost back to what we used to have. It's very strange because we've spent almost 2 years with all these restrictions, with all the measures. We were not able to get out of the house. We were locked down. Only one person of a family could go to the supermarket. Children were not able to get out as well. They were sitting at home. Like, so many things have happened in the last 1.5 years that it's just crazy to get back and think actually and see the pictures, see the videos from there, and just think that wow, this actually happened. Luckily all this is disappearing, and hopefully it won't be back. Like, all these severe restrictions, hopefully they won't be back anymore, and we are just glad that we are almost back to where we were 1.5 years before all these things happened. The next news that I wanted to share with you all is that, remember we were talking about Renfe? I've told you that in October they have a lot of the manifestations. They will paralyze their work days, so they will not be running any kind of trains, especially the main ones, like the main areas, which are Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia, and Alicante. And this already happened yesterday. There was already a first day of the manifestations, and what they did basically was a total collapse. It was very strange, very unpleasant situation for a lot of passengers. What they did is they just stopped all the trains. It was approximately 300 of them, which is a huge number, even though Spain is big, but trust me, it's a big number. And the majority were affected in Valencia, in Barcelona, and Madrid areas, and here in Alicante. What happened is that the people who work on the train, they've decided just to fully stop to work. Although the syndicate of the company as it is, they've said that they've sent a letter telling that they need to provide basic minimum service. According to the workers, they've never received that document, so this is why they did not work on that day. There is an investigation open in terms of that, just to see who is right, who is wrong, because the company is saying one thing and the workers are saying totally opposite things, which happens always in these type of cases. But it's just strange to see what's going on. It's not the last day that it will be happening. During all the first part of October up until 18th, more or less, there will be manifestations and protests going on. Why they are doing this? I've been checking all the information, and there's a strange contradictory documents from one side and from the other. The workers actually say that the company has kind of taken the advantage of the crisis that we have right now here in the country to eliminate a lot more of train service, like trains in general, and to decrease the amount of staff that is working there by making the work conditions a lot worse. But from the other side, the company says that no, we've been talking with the syndicates, we've been talking with the workers and with their representatives. We've signed the contracts and documents where we actually say that we will put approximately 800 more workers in Spain for Renfe, like to work at the train station. So no one knows who is right, who is wrong. What people here in Spain actually say is that the workers should have done all this, should have asked for what they wanted to before all the tourism was back. There was almost 1 year when the trains were basically not operative. They were just closed because no one was able to travel unless it was for work purpose, you know, or something like very, very necessary, and you had to have a certificate about it. If not, you were not able to travel between different regions here. That bad the situation was. So they could have done all this before. They could have talked and got into some kind of agreement before people started to travel once again, and not now when everything is recovered. I mean, there are different opinions on respect, but I personally think that it's good that people are fighting for their rights at their workplace and for good working conditions, but it's bad for all the travelers who need to go with the train, and the train is basically their only option that they have. They could have done it, like the workers could have done it at the times when almost no one was traveling. It would be a lot easier right now for all of us who need to use the train service every now and then. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, if you think that it's right or wrong what the workers are doing right now. The next news is, I was not thinking on touching this topic today because we've talked about it a lot, but I'm just so surprised and shocked with what's going on that I just need to let everyone know. The price of the light, okay? We've been talking that the price was increasing for quite a long time, months and months already. But it's just crazy where we got the megawatt per hour. This is the measure that we have here in Spain, is already on 216 euros. Let me know the price that you have in your country so that we could compare. But here it's 216 euros. That's crazy amount of money. It's 420%. It's more than 4 times the price that we used to pay like a year ago. It's just unbelievable where we got right now with all this. And of course, I get that it does not depend only on Spain. The escalate of the prices for the prime materials, for gas as well, for petrol, like for a lot of things, they've been increasing worldwide. So it means that not only our country is affected by that, but somehow Spain is one of the few countries, very, very few countries, trust me, where we got to this type of limit, okay? And it's not the only thing. They actually say that this is not the maximum. We will get towards 230 euros during this weekend. Like, people already don't know what to do. They just cannot pay for the light unless they have like some kind of a specific plan, or like a maximum price established in a contract that they pay every month. Then they are okay, they're not affected. But if you don't have any kind of plan with a company, like regulated plan, then it's a huge issue. What our government did here in Spain was, it seemed to be a good initiative, but it's not good at the end. This always happens. It kind of seems like a good plan. It seems like a good decision to make, but then in theory, okay, but on practice, it's just a total disaster. What they did is they've eliminated a few taxes. They've eliminated 2, and then the third one, the main one, they've lowered it down from 21% towards 10%. And they've said that like this, at least price will be somehow regulated, which, as we can see, is not the case. Right now, what the government actually says, it's a very interesting thing. They've said that the decrease in taxes, what it made basically is to lower every now and then, like in different parts, it lowered some of the income of electric companies. But it's not going to be reflected, and this is a quote from there. I have a paper here. This is their quote, their words, not mine. This will not be reflected on the invoice for customers, like for people. Then why did you do that? Like, I mean, it's okay if you like lowered the taxes, but if it does not affect what people pay, like what was the point of doing all that? Because what people need is for their bill to stop growing, desperately growing. Like, this is what the people need. They want to be able to pay for the invoice, but pay like logical prices, not that. And why to do all this if people will continue to pay like ridiculously high amount of money, 4 times more than they used to pay last year? It's just tremendous mistake of the government. Not a very good, let's say, decision making from the government. And we will see what will be going on. I will not be surprised, definitely at all, if by the end of like next week we will reach 300 euros. I will not be surprised, because the government obviously is not doing anything to prevent this from happening. And the last news is about the Spanish liquid gold. Here, the olive oil in Spain is just a precious product. It's not cheap, I must say. It's quite expensive for a food, for a product as it is. It's used in a lot of different creams, in cosmetics, and of course in our Mediterranean diet. Without olive oil, it's just nothing. We use it everywhere, to cook, to fry, to just put it in the salads, like as a part of a dressing. Like, we use it everywhere, literally. Without it, like, Mediterranean diet will not exist, just simply. And our liquid gold here in Spain has increased in price a lot once again, and it increased by 67%, like almost more than half of its actual value. Although in the supermarkets, it's true that we will only see the increase of 23%, which is 1/5. It's already like a considerable amount, but still it's not 67% as in other areas, which is at least good news. In the bad news, it's kind of a positive side, that it's not going to be increasing by the 67%, just by 23. Supermarkets are already updating the prices right now, so you will be able to see the change if you are going to one supermarket and you check the olive oil that you usually buy. You will see a slight increase. Why this is basically happening? Because the demand of the product outside, like on international levels, is growing quite a lot, because it's a product that has a lot of benefits for our health, not only like externally in terms of cosmetics, but internal as well, as a part of the diet. So a lot of countries are demanding this product. Spain is actually one of the major producers of olive oil worldwide. From here, we export almost 50%, almost slightly less than 50, but it's almost there. Of all the olive oil worldwide, which is a huge amount of it. So the demand is growing, and also we are at the end of the campaign already for the olive oil before the new production starts. So this is why the quantity of stock that we have right now is what basically shows us what the price will be. If we would have like enough of olive oil stocked somewhere, then that will be okay. The price will be lower. But since we do not have as much of it left already at the end of campaign, because last year, like when all the campaign started, they were not able to recollect as many olives, and as a result do as much oil as we need. This is why right now there is a slight lack of stock, which is producing the increase in prices. But I mean, It's something that we used to have. For example, a bottle of 1 liter like this of olive oil virgin extra costs you approximately 4 or 5 euros, which is like a normal price for it. So right now it will cost around like 5-6 euros. Not a big difference, but that's like for a best quality olive oil. For the lower categories, the increase will not be as substantial. These were all the news for today. Different variety this time from everywhere in Spain, different kinds of themes, but I hope you enjoyed watching today's video, because like this you can actually see what else is happening in Spain, not only in terms of tourism, not only in terms of Benidorm, but in general, what is happening in the country, which kind of problems do we have here, normal, simple people who live here all the time. And like this we can compare it to other countries as well and have a very nice friendly discussion in the comments area. What about the weather? Shortly just will tell that. Well, since today is the 1st of October, happy 1st of October by the way, it already seems that it's autumn. Even in the evening when you open the windows, there's already like a fresh breeze coming in, fresh air. And I cannot explain it, but the smell of the air is different. It's like cold air, it smells differently. So you can actually say that it's not summer anymore in here. But the weather will be stable these days. There's not going to be as much of rain as we had before. Only some of the rain on the northwest part. Right here you can see it on the map. But the rest will be sunny or maybe just slightly cloudy. I want to say that by the end, like on the weekend, towards the end of Saturday, beginning of Sunday, there are going to be some more raindrops and some heavy rain coming. It will go from northwest, it will go like towards the center, and it will stay like this on the center. It will not get up until the Mediterranean area, as the experts say right now. So here we are all good. Here it should not be raining. It might be cloudy, but not raining just yet. And then by Monday, the weather will be stable once again. The temperatures are approximately the same as they were. Of course, during weekend where it's going to be raining the most, the temperatures will decrease. And for example, in the north part, will reach between 15 and 17 degrees, which is already like, I wouldn't call it that it's warm. Well, for people who are coming from abroad, it might be warm, but for us, it's not anymore. It's to put like a light jacket on already. In the rest of Spain today, it will be quite nice and cozy still. In Alicante, they say it will be 27 degrees, more or less. The same here in Benidorm. In Barcelona, 25. In Granada, 31. Malaga, 26. And Marbella, the same. In Sevilla, 32 degrees. It's one of the few regions here in Spain that still have more than 30 degrees during the day. Madrid 26, Balearic Islands 24. Canarian Islands actually have not a heat alert, but very high temperatures. Might be associated with a volcano as well, or just wind from Africa. We don't know it just yet. The experts did not mention anything. But in Canarian Islands, we'll have between 28 and 29 degrees. And in Valencia, it will be 27. The water temperature is still 24 degrees, so you can still go and have a nice swim, especially when it will be sunny outside. The water still feels very, very warm and very nice. I wish you a lovely day of today, a great beginning of a new weekend. And don't forget that tomorrow there's not going to be any video, because on Sunday in the evening at 5 p.m. Spanish time, 4 p.m. UK time, we will have a live stream. We will have a live stream here on the channel. Or we will sit down at some nice place, have a chat, and I will just answer all your questions that you have about life here in Spain, about hotels, restaurants, places to visit, any kind of questions that you have. You'll be able to make them here directly, and I will try and answer as much as I can. I'll see you on Sunday at 5 p.m. here on the channel. Bye!